This video is brought to you by Nokian Tires, a leader in safety and sustainability. Maximize performance and efficiency with their made in USA all-season tires and their dedicated Hakkapeliitta EV winter line from the inventor of the winter tire. Learn more at nokiantire.com/EV. This video is also brought to you by Magna, forward for all. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You actually joined me where I wasn't expecting to make a video. We're up here in the Aspen snowmass area here in the mountains of Colorado. And as I was checking into the hotel that we're staying at, I saw a little sign that said your Audi experience, or there's an Audi experience, or something like this. And I was like, oh, what's up with the Audi thing? And we saw a bunch of Audis in the garage, and they were like, oh, well, since you're a guest at the hotel, you can use an Audi. And I was like, that's cool. Which ones do you have? And they're like, we have E-Trons and Q7s, but everyone tends to take the E-Trons. And I thought, damn, this will make a cool video. Our hotel room came with a freaking E-Tron. They said, here are the keys, go have fun. So I figured we'll go downstairs, we'll take a look at the car, look at the spec, see how they're presenting the car, and really what's in it for Audi to sponsor all of the Aspen hotels this way. I mean, my understanding is we're staying at the Limelight Hotel in Snowmass, but there's 4 or 5 hotels in the area that all have E-Trons or Q7s that guests can go use. So I think it's a really cool marketing ploy. I think it's a really cool way for new people to interact with electric vehicles. And we're basically going to go do that. They gave us a whole bunch of suggested drive routes that we should go on. And we're going to pick one of them and go for a blast on some amazing driving roads here in Colorado. So I thought, okay, we'll make a video. Should be kind of fun. Let's do it. Well, I'm just about to head downstairs and grab the e-tron, but want to talk to you a little bit about the car as a whole. This is Audi's full-size electric SUV, of course, and one of their 3 electric models on sale. They have the Q4 e-tron, which is the smaller ID4 based car, and honestly, to me, just doesn't feel like an Audi. I think the Q4 needed to be better than it was, especially considering the pricing in the US market. There are some good lease deals coming for it, but I think they need to do something to spice up that value. Then there's the full-size Audi e-tron 55 big battery. We just called it e-tron in the US. Actually, for 2024, it's called the Q8 e-tron. We've already had a chance to drive that car. We were on the first drive in California. I've had it as a test car. We've done all the reviews and comparisons, and that thing is awesome. And I'll tell you about the sweet spot in the market, of course, throughout this video. And then there's the e-tron GT, which is the Taycan-based sports car. They don't have any of those here. They only have the full-size Audi e-trons, and the one that they have here is actually not a Q8. It is just the last year's model e-tron. And what's funny is some of the marketing emails, because I obviously had to put in my name and sign a waiver to take the car, I've already got some emails and they have the old e-tron still on them. So I think Audi needs to update everything to the Q8 wherever they're doing this test drive program. They got to update the cars and update the branding. But either way, this is still a great way for people to get into electrification for the first time, experience Audi, and I'm really curious about what you guys think about this type of marketing. To me, it's so cool that you check into your hotel and they're like, oh, go take an Audi out, do whatever you want. Like, that leaves a lasting impression, a lasting memory on something. And again, it wasn't something we were expecting or even knew about before we got to the hotel. We were just up here for taking the Rivian on trails, actually, not even anything Audi related. So super cool. Let's go check out the situation downstairs, go for a drive, and really can't wait to hear your thoughts on this type of customer engagement. You join me now in the parking garage where we are charging up the Rivian R1T. Super cool of them to offer charging, and the charging's actually from part of this Audi experience. Charging's provided by Audi. But here are the keys to the e-tron, or here are the keys to that e-tron that they said, hey, go have some fun with it. So maybe I'll tell you a little bit about the car. We own an e-tron. It's getting pretty loud in here, but I just want to show you these charge point. They're wired up to about 6 kilowatts. Complimentary EV charging brought to you by Audi. Let's pull the car outside because it's not a great environment to film it in. Official electric vehicle of Aspen Snowmass. So cool beans. Let's get it out of here. I'll show you around the car. Let's go through the spec, see what state of charge it's at. That'll be interesting. They also have a Q7 that you can take as well. So in we go. The e-tron logo on the ground. I don't know if our car does that or not. Let's take a look here. This thing's at seemingly 90-something%. Pretty high charged. 95 and it's in dynamic mode, so you know how everyone's been driving it. Oh boy, we got to go through all the settings and set this thing up. So let's go auto at 72 with heated seats on. I got to turn all the haptic feedback things off because that's driving me nuts. Let me just show you charging. Let's see what we're at. We're at 94%. They said they actually don't leave it plugged in most of the time. Like the hotel staff knew not to just leave it at 100, but they said before someone comes and grabs it, they always full charge it just to give them the most amount of range, because 2 hours, middle of winter, they just don't want anyone having range anxiety. And honestly, for a showcase car, I think that's totally fine. Yeah, I'll go through some of the settings, get everything set up the way I want it, and then we'll go for a drive and see where they say we should or shouldn't go. So let's pull it out of the garage and see what we can get ourselves into. Here we go, pulling out of the garage. Car feels pretty new. It's only got 4,900 miles on it. Yeah, this thing feels certainly nice. I can tell you instantly it's not a Prestige because it doesn't have the full extended leather everywhere. So it looks like we should be able to fit through here just fine. And dang, then there's a Model X shuttle vehicle over here as well. It's just so many EVs in this area, and a level 2 EV charger right here. How about that? That's convenient. There's just charging all around. This one's 6 kilowatts. Yeah, everything's pretty low power charging, but wow, beautiful views if we let the camera focus all in this area. So let's go out. I'll show you around this car. Let's go through the spec and then we'll go drive it. And dang, here it is. It's actually a 2022 e-tron. So they still have not upgraded to the new Q8 e-tron, maybe before the winter season, although this thing only has 4,900 miles on it. And there's really not much driving difference between this and a Q8 e-tron. I think enough for this type of experience. They could probably get another year or two out of this one. The styling is a bit old compared to the new Q8 that we just reviewed, so perhaps they will get updated, not sure. So yeah, this is I'm guessing premium plus. It's definitely not a Prestige. No massaging seats in this one. I don't think, yeah, no extended leather, different interior material. Still looks really nice. Still has the touchscreens down here. So it's a high mid spec, if you will. And, you know, let me tell you a little bit about the car. So 86.5 kilowatt hour usable is plenty for the few hours that this thing will be out and back. And with chargers here, it never has to go to a public charger. It can always be AC charged. This one seems to have the dual charge ports, one on this side, not for DC charging, only for AC. Our car does not have this. And then over here, you have the one with AC charging and DC charging. It's closing that side port and then opening up this one. So now you have your main charging port, and it looks a little bit nasty in there. It looks like this one's been used a bit more than the second auxiliary port. Oh no, looks like someone hit the car over here on this side. That's not good. So I hope the hotel knows about that. All right, well, that looks pretty gnarly, doesn't it? I wonder if they know about that or if it's planning to get fixed. I'll certainly try and get an answer for you before we end. E-Tron is, well, first off, there are just Audis everywhere here in Aspen. It's almost like Audi has sponsored the whole town, which in essence, they kind of have. They've sponsored Aspen Snowmass and all of the Aspen Ski Company situations. So this is Audi town up here. And dang, it is pretty fun to see all of these cars, and e-trons are just everywhere. Yeah, really nice spec, really nice car. Let's mount up the cameras and see, I don't know, one of the driving experiences that they say we can go on, and let's do it. We are on the move, heading out of the Limelight Hotel Snowmass. By the way, none of this is sponsored. We just came up here for a couple days of exploring, hanging out, looking at stuff, I don't know, some cool off-road trails I wanted to take the Rivian on, and we decided to stay up here in Snowmass, and it's gorgeous. Wow, here in fall with the trees everywhere. And yeah, they were just like, oh, do you want an e-tron for your stay? And I'm like, yes, that sounds cool. And they're like, yeah, well, in the winter time, they normally limit test drives to 2 hours, which is a really long test drive. And they're like, we give you all these places you can go, but they're like, it's still off season, like just take it and let us know how long you want it for. And they're like, yeah, we don't have any appointments for the day. So our hotel room basically came with a free Audi e-tron to drive, which is awesome. I can tell the regen is set to automatic in this one, so I'm going to go to settings. Oh man, I should probably reset the car before I give it back to them and do all this stuff. Actually, it's under vehicle. We'll go vehicle. We will go to charge settings, charging and efficiency. Under efficiency assist, we'll do recuperation manual, and then I can lock it on regen full. It's not quite one pedal driving, but it's pretty close. Yeah, cool to experience this car, because we own a 2019 Audi e-tron, and I just had the 2024 Audi Q8 e-tron. I've never really driven an e-tron in between those, and there have been some little updates here that are in this car that I thought were new for the Q8 e-tron, but actually were just added in to this generation vehicle. For example, the start-stop button has a black coating on it instead of our car, which is just silver. Just little tiny things that they've improved and come in. Oh, old Land Cruiser right here, so sick. And yeah, so I figured what we're gonna do is go to one of the experiences Audi has created and you know, see what that's all like. Basically, it's always cool for me to understand what the consumer goes through when they interact with automakers. And in this case, the experience was super easy. I went to the front desk of the hotel. Actually, the hotel like texts you, how's everything doing when you check in? And I was like, hey, can I steal the e-tron? They're like, oh yeah, take it for as long as you need. Just, you know, come up front, sign the waiver, and the car is yours. So I went to the front desk of the hotel. I signed my name. It's basically the same loan agreement to like when we get press cars, which is don't drive drunk, don't do anything stupid, all the normal things, you know, don't sue Audi or don't sue the hotel if something goes wrong, just general things like that. And then they're like, hey, the keys, have a good day. And they're like, do you need us to show you how it works? And I was like, no, we own one, that's totally fine. They're like, cool, have fun. It's just amazing. And I was helping them actually figure out, because they wanted to use the e-tron. I think one of the ladies said they took this to Denver one time, which is a pretty long run from here in Aspen and back. And she said she really couldn't figure out charging. And this was last year before some of the infrastructure went in, but now there's some awesome towns that have DC fast charging. Georgetown, we're not supposed to stop coming down this road, I imagine, for icy conditions. Georgetown has it. Also, there was another one. Yeah, few chargers in between here and Denver. I was like, it's no problem now if you go. So yeah, basically what I've done is I've jumped in the car and I've selected one of the pre-programmed navigation routes, if you will, and we're going to an abandoned ghost town, which will be kind of cool. So here we are coming to some sort of traffic situation. We'll just come down here, and yeah, the car feels great. I mean, it feels just like our e-tron, predicting 230 miles of range at 90-something% state of charge, which seems pretty reasonable, considering that the e-tron's one of the least efficient vehicles in history. Oh yeah, they're doing some pavement patching here, very nice. Snowmass police with the cool decked out Tahoe, love to see that. And off we go. This is freaking cool. What a surprise. Check into your room, get an e-tron. Let's go have some fun. Well, you join me out on some open roads, and it is just gorgeous around here. What a cool place to come and experience, honestly, a pretty cool car. Even though the e-tron has been out since 2019, there's still so many people who don't really understand Audi and electrification and how this car was honestly ahead of its time when it came out. It's so much so that they could not sell these things because the car had really poor range when it launched, just about 200 miles of EPA range in a very expensive luxury SUV. And then there was no infrastructure to support the car. You know, CCS fast charging is something that really started to pick up installations just after this car launched. So all the early reviews were people not understanding how to use charging and couldn't go anywhere and all of these things. And it was honestly a pretty, I would say, rough time for Audi and EV in certain markets. In Germany, yeah, they had some good infrastructure. Now it's amazing. And here, certainly, you can get pretty much anywhere in the US without thinking about it. Yeah, you're not going to have the best charging experiences, but I think you can always get some kind of charge at a charging station. It's just usually derated. By the way, there's a great video on this topic that my friend Robert from Aging Wheels just put out. It was basically the CCS networks versus the Tesla supercharger network, and it was just very clear that everyone has to switch to the North American charging standard to use the much more reliable Tesla supercharger network. Yes, there's going to be a lot more cars there, but like, just, you know, if Audi's watching this video, please switch to NACS, because you just have to. And I know you're already looking into it, everyone is, and it will become the standard in the US, but man, those CCS problems are just annoying. Yesterday, I drove up here in the Rivian. I did 2 CCS fast chargers and honestly had no major problems. Couple little bugs. Charge point in Rivian don't charge above 90% on one, so we were trying to get a full charge to get up here. Just little things that like are slightly annoying, but then also the cost of charging was quite expensive. It's not a big deal, but I was just like, damn, I just wish I could use superchargers. There's a supercharger up here at Aspen. BMW i3 shredding, awesome. And so anyway, I don't need to go on and on about that topic, but we're out here for a cruise in the e-tron. Maybe we should dial it up into dynamic mode, which will lower the suspension, give me the extra boost of power, has 400 horsepower, so dang, feels good. Brake pedal feels awesome. The e-tron is just one of those very nicely balanced and tuned vehicles. I've done track reviews of this car. We've done drifting it around snow courses. It's just one of those things that's way overbuilt. And on paper, the car looks terrible. It has 225 miles of EPA rated range for this one, which is terrible for a car this expensive. But when you actually think about how you use an electric car, here we are, full power, full send. Wow, feels strong. Actually feels slightly spicier than our car, but that could just be because we have bigger, heavier wheels on our car, and usually it's filled full of crap. And we got a really nice shade we can open as well. Yeah, the e-tron just looks terrible on paper, but when you drive this car, you realize, okay, you really can get 225, 227 miles of highway range, so you can match EPA pretty closely, which is okay, but then the charging performance is amazing, especially this generation e-tron before the Q8. I'm just gonna put us back into comfort mode since we're cruising on the highway. So let's go here and comfort, one more, boom. We'll set the adaptive cruise and auto lane keep, and now the car is driving for us. Thank you very much, Audi. Appreciate that. It's one of those cars that just works because it has such a good charging curve. It'll sit at 150 kilowatts all the way to 80% and sometimes beyond. And even at like 95%, this car's still doing 50 kilowatt charging. It's unbelievable. And so we've actually calculated out the e-tron is on par with our 2019 Tesla Model 3 performance in terms of road trip time. Meanwhile, the specs are as wildly different as you can imagine. The Tesla is 300 miles of range when new and 240, 250 kilowatt charging. Meanwhile, the e-tron can just keep up with it on a trip because of that charging curve. The problem is you have to use the public chargers with this one, and that sucks. It's really annoying. Which is why we never take our e-tron on trips when we take our Tesla on trips. Anyway, let's go find this abandoned village. It's only 13 miles away from here, but I think some twisty, good driving roads to get over there. And then we'll go back, return the car, and you know, just a fun day. I thought we were going to have vacation, but here I am filming. I've never tried to vacation before. Don't think it's for me, obviously, because I'm having way more fun driving this. So let's go find this abandoned village. Dang, this is a good freaking road that you can come down here and just send it through. This is awesome. Wow, what a road, full send. Right along the river. Some amazing houses around here too. We're talking, you know, 30, 40, 50, 100 million, I don't know, dollar homes. Just next level craziness. And beautiful driving roads, beautiful fall scenery with the snow-capped mountain peaks in the back, just backing off ESC slightly, why not? And full send through here. This is just awesome. Wow, nothing too crazy. Again, it's not a review car that's supposed to get new tires after every press loan, but just a gorgeous drive. And honestly, this is a fantastic route for you know, someone thinking about buying a car to come down here and just feel how it moves. Because, you know, what's really important to me and maybe to you guys as well is whenever you test drive a car, and you'll notice this when I review cars as well, I try and get the car in as many different scenarios as possible. We test city driving, highway driving, driver assistance, noise performance. The e-tron, dead silent, dead comfortable around town. But you also want to try and find a twisty road and get an idea for how the car handles and drives. And different conditions, especially in the snow when you can feel the powertrain control and the ABS stuff. And because this, eventually when you buy a car, it's a car you're going to live with for years and years, so you need to make sure it's good in all the scenarios that you're going to be driving that car in. And I think doing a test drive like this for a few hours without the pressure of a salesperson at a dealership, with someone who's just like, here's the keys, bring it back in a few hours, or in our case at the end of the day, like that is almost unheard of. Just huge hubs everywhere, oh my god, and great roads. So this is how you sell cars. I much prefer this sort of experiential drive, this experiential experience. I'm sort of at a loss for words, rather than someone going into a dealership and saying, yeah, I'd like to drive an e-tron. Okay, can you afford an e-tron? Fill out a credit app before you drive the e-tron. Those things always drive me nuts. And so here they were just like, oh, you're staying at our hotel? That's cool. Here are the keys. So if you stay at any Aspen Ski Company hotel, so that's Limelight, a few others. We're at the Limelight in Snowmass, but they have one in Aspen. There's a few others in the area as well. My understanding is they all have a Q7 and a e-tron. Maybe eventually they'll update these to the Q8 e-tron, and you can just go have fun and send it on these amazing driving roads, get an idea for how the car drives, how you're going to be using it. So this is next level. And again, we're not going too hardcore, not here to shred their tires, just here to enjoy the car and get a feel and a sense for it. And obviously I own one of these, so I know how the car drives, and it's unbelievably great handling for how heavy it is. No one would know how good this car is. But what an experience, and what a cool thing it is that you get an e-tron with your hotel stay. We're just about 4 miles away from the ghost town, so let's get on over there. Big power out of the corner, even some power on rotation. Not necessarily rotation, but you can tell the rear axle's got a little bit more to help neutralize the car in the corner. This is epic. Truly did not think I'd be doing this when I got to Aspen. Damn, what a road! What a road! And here we are. We have made it to the Welcome Center, and I guess you can walk down this little path. Looks like it's closed at the moment, the Welcome Center. But anyway, we weren't here to see a ghost town. We were here to drive the car and just understand. So no dogs, that's not good. No dogs in the ghost town. Okay. And well, good thing I didn't bring them. So yeah, anyway, we are here. It's cool. There's the e-tron. Just an awesome looking car. By the way, for those of you who are curious, I should have mentioned already in this video, go buy a used e-tron. Basically the exact car that we're driving now, you can pick up for under $30,000 with very low mileage on them. Just absolutely insane deals on these things. What happened, I think, is all the early cars came off lease and flooded the market full of e-trons. And so they're just way under market value right now. And yeah, so highly recommend picking one of these up for sure in the used market. And honestly, the performance is very comparable to the Q8 e-tron. We did a whole bunch of videos on that as well. So yeah, Q8 e-tron has a little bit more range, 20 kilowatt hours bigger battery pack, of course, but the road trip range, the charging performance, actually maybe even better on this particular one, because so much cobalt in the battery means it can charge so fast, so deep into the pack. Anyway, we're still at very high state of charge. Just a quick drive down here, something like 20 miles. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, let's go blast back, and I'll give you my final thoughts on this type of driving experience and if more manufacturers should consider this. We're heading back with just some beautiful views, beautiful driving roads. Honestly, for many people, if this is their first experience to electric, they are going to love it, because the car is so well built, so silent, and honestly the best place to experience the car. Actually, in winter time, especially if they put some pretty aggressive winter tires on this car, I'm not sure if they do, we're just on the normal all seasons, but if they do put some winter tires on it, I would imagine they do. Damn, this thing is a beast in the snow. We've had our e-tron on studded Nokian Hakkapeliitta tires. Thanks, shout out to Nokian for sponsoring this video. This portion's not sponsored though. They just sponsor every out of spec reviews video this month, which is awesome. You know, our e-tron's pretty much unstoppable with some good tires, so this must just be a mind-blowing experience for many people who haven't experienced an EV before, and especially with this being a popular destination for people people from other countries to come to America to come skiing here in Aspen Snowmass. Well, you know, many markets are not yet EV friendly or have electric cars in them. So this could really truly be a lot of people's first you know, understanding or first experience with EVs, and what a great one. So my encouragement to other automakers is, rather than, you know, using the traditional, I mean, traditional media, sure, okay, that works. It's quite expensive though. You have to like keep fleets of cars everywhere. These experiences are great for consumers to get butts in seats. And to me, that is one of the most important selling points of a car. It's a great way for someone to visualize themselves in that car, in a cool environment. It leaves a lasting memory. And honestly, I think this will translate to many sales of e-trons and other electric vehicles, just this experience. Now, of course, you can also, like I said, get an Audi Q7 part of this experience, but talking to the front desk at the hotel, which I found pretty interesting, they were like, no, everyone's kind of just interested in the e-tron. They're like, yeah, the Q7 goes out sometimes, but the e-tron's just, boom, everyone wants to drive this thing. So I think that's honestly pretty telling, pretty awesome, and it's a great way to experience an EV without the sales pressure of someone sitting next to you, and you can go do whatever you want with it for a few hours. There really should be more of this. I'm sure it's very expensive for Audi to sponsor all of this and do all of it, but I think it's well worth the effort, well worth the time. And I've just had a blast here exploring these beautiful roads, and certainly always love when I have an opportunity to drive an e-tron. It's the car I tend to take very often around us. Model S out for a rip. That's a Model S rental car, plaid on fleet plates. No way. What rental company is renting Model S plaids? That's awesome. Okay, cool stuff. Well, we'll see you on another one soon. Thought I'd bring you along for this little fun experience. Nothing fancy, but enjoy your day. See you later. Bye-bye.